Hey, welcome back, guys. Dave Chappelle just blessed us with a surprise comedy special in the midst of one of the roughest years in modern history, courtesy of Netflix's comedy YouTube channel called 846, a reference to the recent slaying of George Floyd. In this video, we'll be ranking the comedic icon's previous 5 Netflix offerings. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Here we go. Coming in at number 5, deep in the heart of Texas. Dave's second stand-up special, Posthiatus, is honestly his least enjoyable, and not for lack of trying, but more for lack of compelling material. Dave doesn't deviate from his signature style and touches on a personal banana peel throwing incident, race relations, Ebola, diseases and vaccinations, ISIS, Donald Sterling, Ray Rice, and transgender community backlash, a doubling down of comments from his prior special. Upon initial viewing, this special was difficult to objectively critique, given Dave's seemingly infinite status in absentia. However, graded in context to the rest of his Netflix catalog, it's easily his most inferior and pales in comparison to his subsequent brilliant works. This is Dave still finding his comedic footing in newly minted Sensitive Times. That's not to say this installment is skippable by a long shot, as Dave provides a few gems and laughs along the way. But the warm-up is never as enjoyable as the real game, and this is Chappelle getting his arc just right for the brilliance to come. Number 4, Equanimity. Equanimity served as the third installment in Dave Chappelle's return to the national stage and found him fully aware of his comedic prowess, boldly confident in arguably his greatest gift, storytelling. He sets the entire special up with a predetermined pussy punchline, informs the crowd of it, and masterfully wraps it up in his subsequent diatribe so well that the crowd must submit to his comedic whims, even though they apparently knew what was coming. Never lacking in analysis, Dave gives his opinion on Rachel Dolezal, transgender privilege, voting, poor whites versus rich whites, Donald Trump, and much more. Additionally, Dave preaches the right to disagree while respecting everyone's beliefs, save for the Amish, while hilariously delivering his sequential stories and rapid-fire audience quips effortlessly. He ended with a moving segment on Emmett Till, the catalyst in his murder, and its effects on contemporary America. He then whiplashes the audience back into laughs and applause by concluding with the initial pussy joke. Number 3, The Bird Revelation. The Bird Revelation, Dave Chappelle's 4th Netflix installment, is in fact his most intimate. Dave presents his thoughts seated for its duration, with the crowd seemingly circled around like children to a campfire. Dave addresses the allegations against Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Louis C.K. He also talks about gays, COINTELPRO, the NFL kneeling controversy, and his own misfortune in showbiz following his self-imposed hiatus. Dave also notably touches on the Me Too movement and prophetically warns women in general that, quote, fear doesn't make lasting peace, and that things will worsen when the bad guys become unafraid, a truth he later alluded to in Sticks and Stones following the harsh abortion laws set forth in 7 U.S. states. This special also held the unique distinction of alluding to Dave's whereabouts post-Chappelle Show fallout, something he cryptically shares through an analogy to Iceberg Slim's magnum opus, Pimp, The Story of My Life, without outright explaining, adding another layered element to his strongest comedic quality. Number 2, Sticks and Stones. Trying to run from my destruction, you know I didn't even care. These lyrics, taken from Prince's masterpiece 1999, set the tone for Dave Chappelle's most defiant stand-up special to date. Throughout his 5th Netflix offering, Dave is unabashed in his critiques of Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, cancel culture, the LGBT community, and the social media era at large. Dave's commentary served as the small voice for those fed up with the current climate in which we live. He's no longer the recovering comedian tiptoeing his way through the contemporary landscape. Much to the contrary, Dave is running full speed ahead on all things controversial. Prior specials received as much backlash as they did acclaim for the raunchy content, most notably the various gay and trans jokes. Dave has clearly gotten the message and bravely expresses how many fucks he doesn't give on Sticks and Stones and where you can go if you don't like it. It's a sound-off against overwhelming liberalism and a line in the sand for the altar of comedy. In an age where most comedians are increasingly fearful and tame, Dave essentially leaves his blood, sweat, and free speech on the floor in comedy's defense. Instead of running from destruction, he's running head-on into it, carelessly nevertheless. This is Dave at his most Dave, and only a person too insecure to take a joke would take issue with it. Because after all, you clicked on my face. And number 1, The Age of Spin. Dave Chappelle's debut Netflix special served as his triumphant return to the mainstream stage following a 10-plus year hiatus from the limelight. Dave tackled a variety of hot-button issues, including race relations, feminism, Manny Pacquiao's controversial comments regarding gays, Bill Cosby's sex abuse scandal, the transgender community, and most hilariously, a 4-part segment on his O.J. Simpson meetings and encounters. Throughout the episode, Dave is ironically self-aware, while simultaneously perceived as tone-deaf by the larger society. His commentary is thought-provoking and honest, positioning him as a comedic child in a strange new world with fresh rules and sensibilities. Within that world, Dave presented his ideas almost with a cautious tinge, gauging an audience fully in control of the resulting narrative and consensus. However, that cautiousness doesn't equate to fear. Dave operates in a field of eggshells, running ablaze, as opposed to walking. Thank you for watching today's video. As always, if you like today's video, go ahead and hit the like button for us, share it with your friends who are fans of Dave Chappelle, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of rudypmagicbeats.com, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.